Greetings to all, and thank you in advance for watching this year's State of the School Address. Last year was the first year that we decided to do this via video, and our viewership was considerably better than our live attendance. It's definitely better than having to venture out on a cold January night to hear a speech. The State of the School Address is my opportunity to speak about the successes of the past year, the challenges we need to overcome, and some of the changes we anticipate in the upcoming year. And of course, I will announce the tuition increase for the next year. Hopefully I'll do this in an engaging fashion that should not make the next 10 to 12 minutes too painful. Simply put, the state of the school is very good. Academically, we saw a record 33 North Cross students attain the distinction of AP Scholar, a number that represents an 800% increase in the number of AP Scholars over the past 8 years. This achievement is the result of increased rigor in the curriculum, more focused teaching, and the willingness of our students to accept responsibility for a more demanding course load. Many of you have heard me mention this statistic before, perhaps because it is so incredible that I find it hard to grasp. But I believe it's an accurate assessment of the overall improvements we have made in our academic program and increased achievement seen in our students. Approximately 20% of this year's senior class has scored over 1,400 on the SATs. We already have 5 early acceptances to UVA, 2 early decisions to William and Mary, and early decisions to Middlebury, Davidson, and Oberlin College. And for you Hokie fans, we have 17 students applying to Virginia Tech, which I believe is a record in my 5 years. In the pool, on the court, or on the playing field, last year saw 10 of our 12 sports compete in the state playoffs, and for only the second time in school history, we won 2 state championships in the same academic year. Last year saw 3 student athletes sign Division I letters of intent to play sports in college, and this year we could see as many as 5. And congratulations to Matt Dowdy, Little Matty Dowdy, class of 2014, who just won an NCAA championship in baseball. Artistically, we continue to perform at levels that demonstrate our commitment to a well-rounded individual. Attendance to our annual photo coffee house shows that we value our astounding array of artistic and musical talent. This year we had 15 students achieve all-district band and 9 students earning all-district choir. Included in these students were Kevin Bow, who earned first chair clarinet, Jacob Wadstrom and Jack Fishwick, who earned the highest score possible for voice. New to our artistic offerings this past year were the fall lower school musical and a homecoming choral concert that featured several of our recent graduates. Financially, we continue to operate with a tight budget, but once again, we finished with a balanced budget and continue to pay down our remaining debt. My goal is to do the Dave Ramsey "We're debt-free" shout next year. Karen List, Malcolm Douglas, and Sean Lee and their staff continue to do a tremendous job improving the looks of our campus. Special thanks go out to the class of 2015 for the new activity sign that mimics our entrance columns, and the family of Dottie Stevens, who made a bequest on her behalf for new landscaping outside Old Slack. So I'm understandably pleased about this past year, and our success translated to 90 new students enrolling. And when combined with a continuing strong retention rate, we saw a slight growth in enrollment. Of particular note was the increase in enrollment in our lower school, a result due in large part to the creative leadership of Deborah Jesse. To better gauge our success and the degree of engagement felt with the North Cross School, we recently surveyed our parent and teacher populations. I appreciate those of you that took the time to complete these surveys, and I must tell you that on Christmas Eve, when I finished reading the results, I had a hop in my step as I walked home. The results were a nice Christmas present. In particular, I was pleased that more than 90% of parents felt that their experience at North Cross was positive. 94% of parents were satisfied with how they were treated by school personnel. 92% of parents are proud to tell people their children attend North Cross School. 92% of parents believe North Cross School provides an academically rigorous curriculum, and 94% of parents believe their children are encouraged to think analytically. Having been in the academic world for 28 years, I'm aware that these are exceptional numbers, and they validate much of the hard work that faculty and staff have put in to make North Cross a special place. There were several obvious areas for improvement. While survey results show that 86% of parents are satisfied with the quality of our facilities, the comments in this area show a need for considerable work on the Willis Hall roof and the heating and air conditioning systems. Admittedly, this facility is dated and these projects are larger capital projects, but know that they are at the top of our capital improvement list. In addition, the survey results show that parents overwhelmingly felt their children were safe at North Cross. Comments indicate concern over the accessibility of our campus to strangers. Suggestions included perimeter fencing, additional cameras, and campus security. We have done our best with a restricted entry to classroom buildings, but a desire for more campus security is clearly indicated. The section of the survey regarding the Board of Trustees indicated that parents do not know the members of the board, nor are they aware of what role the Board of Trustees plays in the operation of the school. Only 43% of parents say they see board members at school events. 40% of parents have a general idea of who's on the board, and 46% of parents feel they understand the role of the board. The board has already discussed these findings and is well on their way towards developing a plan to address these shortcomings. A considerable number of questions dealt directly with my role on campus. I was pleased that 80% of parents are satisfied with my performance as head of school, and even more pleased that 84% of parents agree that I instill a climate consistent with our mission. Perhaps most important to me is that my negatives on any question consistently remain in the single digits, with the exception of trusting my judgment. In this category, I showed a 76% agreement and a 15% disagreement. I've already begun a series of conversations as to why the spike in this response, and I believe this is to be connected with several controversial personnel decisions I made last year. Comments about my performance were more positive than negative, but I promise to continue to work on my listening skills. All in all, I think we're in a good place and ready to move forward as an institution. We will continue to administer this survey on an annual basis, and will use the results to help set annual goals and inform strategic planning. Before I move to next year's budget and tuition, I'd like to mention two initiatives. Crosswalk, in its second year, and North Cross Shinha, our new Chinese campus, are making positive impacts on our Roanoke campus. Each of these initiatives operate on a budget that is distinct from our North Cross operating budget, so that the board can monitor the financial impact of each program in isolation. Last year, Crosswalk served 9 students and operated a budget surplus, a surplus that was deposited in a separate account to serve as a rainy day fund for this program. This year, we have doubled the number of students in Crosswalk and will once again operate with a balanced budget. Crosswalk has been especially effective in attracting new families to the North Cross community, as well as allowing us to retain families that previously would have been forced to leave in order to find appropriate instruction. North Cross Shinha School, our Shanghai campus, had more than 300 applicants for 50 spots in our inaugural year of operation. While startup costs associated with our initial contract negotiations have eaten into our projected surplus, we anticipate we will still net approximately $20,000 for use on the Roanoke campus. More importantly, we've already had 2 North Cross students visit our Shanghai campus and anticipate that 10 more will travel to Shanghai over spring break. This summer, we will have 3 groups of North Cross Shinha students visit Roanoke. I've been very pleased with our teaching staff in Shanghai, and with our program set to more than double in size next year and no more legal expenses, I anticipate revenues will grow dramatically in year 2. For the 3rd year in a row, the Board of Trustees has approved a balanced operating budget for the next year. This budget allows for a modest increase in faculty salaries, an upgrade in our administrative software packages, an increase in healthcare costs, repayment of debt, and the creation of a plant replacement fund. The budget also requires a tuition increase of 3.75%, an amount consistent with my goal to continue a trend of decreasing tuition raises. Over the past 6 years, we have seen tuition increases fall from a high of 10% in 2011 to the current increase of 3.75%, and we have done this while creating and maintaining a balanced operating budget. When you begin the re-enrollment process, you will notice immediately that the tuition number looks like it has gone up by more than just 3.75%. There's a reason for this. In prior years, you have been charged tuition and fees, but this year we are eliminating fees by rolling them into the tuition rate. I believe we're being more transparent by placing the complete cost of a North Cross education within the tuition structure, rather than having parents get hit with a charge for fees on their September bill. I realize this makes our tuition look higher, but in the long run, I feel it's more honest. Let me repeat this once more. Our tuition increase is 3.75%, and we are rolling the fees you have always paid into the tuition figure. As I complete my 5th year, I recognize that we have been very successful in creating an incredible school for our children. As we head into the next 5 years, I look forward to the challenges and excitement associated with our very achievable goal of being the best independent day school in Virginia. As always, I deeply appreciate your commitment to the school, and I hope you recognize what I'm fond of saying: there has never been a better time to be at North Cross School. Thank you and good night.